Hi everyone, I am Franka and this is Franka's Fab Family. On this short video, I am going to show you how I cut a chicken, clean a chicken, season a chicken, and bag a chicken for the whole month. It'll save you so much time and money. Let's get started. Okay everyone, the first step to this process is I take the chicken out of the bag. In this case, I have two. The reason why I have two is because they were in a twin pack. You also save some money that way too if you're trying to save some money for your family when you're preparing meals. So I am going to cut up one of the chickens and I'm going to leave one whole. I'm going to bake this one, more than likely stuff it one day, or yeah, I think I'm going to leave this one whole. So I'm going to cut up this one. The skin on this one broke a little bit, so it's the one that's going to get chopped up. I have a cutting board, I have my knife, and this is really what I do in my house. So I start to cut the chicken. I start with the chicken laying down on its back. The reason why, I could feel the bone in the breast. So I would take the smaller knife in this case, only because my hands are small and I want better control of the knife. I'm not trying to go to the hospital. So I will stab it. I am not trying to pretend or in any way, shape, or form that I'm an expert when it comes to like butchering chicken or butchering meat. No, I'm trying to show you what I do to just feed for young children. Feed for young children in the most economic way, healthy way. And I know a lot of people out there always ask me, you know, like, how do you manage? How do you do it? So this is just one of the ways that I do it. Do you know that in the supermarket, at least the supermarket where I live, if you buy 2 chicken breasts off the bone without the skin, it's at least 80 to 90% the same cost as a whole chicken. So imagine you're getting 2 breasts only, but if you buy the whole chicken, you just add $1 or $2 more and you're gonna get so much more food. It requires a little bit of work, but no pain, no gain, right? Right here, there's a bone right here. And then now I expose the ribs from the inside and the cavity from the inside. I don't like all of this skin. I won't use it. So I will pull it out. So I'm taking the breast off. I normally take the breast off whole, and then I would either cut them in chicken strips or chicken nugget sizes. But I actually decide that after I cut up the whole bird, because at this time is when I start mentally planning some different meals with the chicken, because I guess this chicken have spoken to me. I don't know, but normally that's what it is, unless I've really just already pre-planned what the chicken meals I'm gonna make for this month. So here's the chicken thighs. I would take this off as well. I normally cook most of my food without the skin, except when I'm baking it. I would leave that skin on when I'm baking it. I'm going to show you how I prepare that one for cleaning. I then take out all this extra fat. And this is the first round of the chop, because then I'm going to use the bigger knife to really chop the meat up. So now I've completed the big chop, the breakdown of the whole chicken. So now I'm going to break each part down even more. So I find that joint, there's a joint in there. This is still too big for my kids. So I will cut it up. So you will have some small chunks of dark meat. So I'll cut all of that up. And then I'll crack this bone. There is meat on it, but I'm just making it into a smaller piece again for the children. So I can start putting these back in here now, because I'm not going to break this down anymore. This is now getting prepared to clean. I don't like this part here unless I'm doing drumsticks in the oven or barbecue drumsticks. I normally take this part off anyway. Then I'll still cut up the drumsticks a little bit more. That's just in this case. Then I'll crack the bone, because we want the meat on the bone, but just not, this bone is too, it's not necessary. I'll take off this bone here. Then I'll cut up the meat. That's how I'm preparing this chicken. Sometimes I would leave them whole depending on, like I said, what I'm making. Or if I'm having other adults, I would not break up everything like this. Some of the recipes I'll make with this, they are like curry, some fried chicken, stewed chicken, baked chicken, barbecue chicken, but everything would already be prepared. And I'll break this down. Like I said, I'll break this down. I'll keep this. There is this bone here. It's like the spine all down the chicken. If you just break it a couple times, it'll make it easier to cut, because now you have like joints and stuff. Down in the chicken, you'll find all of this stuff here, but you'll wash away all that stuff when you're cleaning it. So I will start to then butcher, because I've already broken it up. Why? Some people might say, oh, why you don't throw this out? We just don't throw it out. It's good meat. There's meat all over it. If you look, there's still so much nuggets on it. And then now the breast. Because I normally don't leave this bone here in the breast, I would take the breast off, but I would leave some meat on it, so that way it becomes part of that backbone type part of the meat. You see? So you have the bone, but you still got like juicy pieces of meat on it. And then now I would break that up. So we have two breasts. So what I will do with this one, I think I'm going to do some grilled chicken strips for one of our meals. Or I can still grill them, and when it's time to cook them, if I've changed my mind and I want to make them, I'll use a smaller knife. I'll have better control now, because now I'm slicing the meat. You'll see sometimes like it might look butchered, but like I tell the children, you can't eat it whole anyway. But in a case like this, that I'm actually going to do grilled strips, I will take more time to make sure that they're all even, that they're now presented differently, because they're not going like on a sauce or in a stew or something like that. I'm actually going to fry them or even bake them, but I think I'm going to grill them this month. We haven't had that in a while. So then I just cut strips. Chicken number 2. This is the bad boy here I'm going to bake. So I don't take off his skin, but I have cooked it that way as well. But in this case, that's not what I'm going to do. I am going to leave his skin on. I have actually skinned a whole bird like this and then baked it. But we'll do that another time, and probably one time when I'm going to show you how I cook. So I take out all this stuff. And this one, he's not very fatty. He's a little bit fatty here, so this part here I would normally just pull with my hands, but I don't want to bruise the skin or really break the skin, because I'm gonna stuff seasoning in this cavity here, and I need the skin to fold over. So if I rip the skin, like his jacket, is not gonna work. And this way as well too, I needed to close it up, because I'm more than likely gonna stuff him. So I don't know if you can see this, but there are some particles, or I don't know what you call this. I'll have my son look it up. That's what I tend to do when I come across things I don't know the name. This part of the chicken comes off. So we actually clean it. We peel it off, whether with a knife or with a spoon, but it's one of the areas that, I don't know. I remember my mother just looking at it, like if she asked me to clean the chicken and this was still on it, that would be considered like gross. How are you going to leave that part on? So most Caribbean people, if you ever go to somebody's house and you left these things on, we would notice. Then my mother calls this scraping the skin. You see all of this coming off? More will come off when it goes into its bath, because both chickens are going to take a bath. But this is just that initial. I'm going to scrub away all that extra stuff that was left over on the top layer of the skin when the feathers came off. Then you'll look for feathers as well. And this bad boy is good to go. He's a nice one. He's going to make a nice bacon chicken. So I now have 2 chickens totally dissected or prepared for cleaning. Like I said, we clean all of our meats. So I have the chicken here. I have the chicken tenders. I have some frying parts. I have some curry parts. And I have some soup parts. So this might give me either 4 meals or maybe 5. Because when I'm making chicken soup, I don't use a lot of meat. Just couple little pieces here and there, because I use a lot of vegetables, and this is definitely a really pretty chicken ready for baking. So now I'm going to show you how I clean the chicken, but we're going to move over to the sink. Okay, we are now on to step 2. And step 2 is where I clean the chicken. So I have 2 bowls because I have chickens in 2 parts. I have one whole for baking, and then I have one that I've cut up that's going to be many different dishes. But here is what we normally, this is a typical brine that we use to wash our meat and chicken and protein, whatever kind of meat that we get. I have 1/3 of a cup of salt, but I have 1 tub of water. I'm gonna mix the whole thing in here, and then I will share it with this container. So 1/3 of salt, a cup of vinegar, and I have 2 limes, which I'm going to cut, squeeze. We call this the sponge or the washcloth to clean the meat. You will see it later because I'm going to put the bowls in the sink, and you're going to see that I'm actually going to use the lime and stuff to wash around, especially this whole chicken, but we do that for fish as well. So I will squeeze it in here, and I would put the whole thing in, seeds and all, because we're going to wash the chicken, rinse it off as well. So I'll cut that one again. So I will have a cloudy, tasty, flavorful water. And I say tasty because I wouldn't taste it. The chicken hasn't gone in yet. You would tell if you've made it too salty for whatever reason. Let's say you accidentally poured too much salt. You don't want to necessarily wash the chicken with that. You can, but you'll need to rinse it off quickly because salt absorbs into the skin. And that's what makes our food like very flavorful, because you have that vinegar, fresh lime, and salt water bath before you're even seasoned up. I am going to put the whole chicken in a smaller bowl because it's already whole. I don't need a lot of space to swish it around. Now I'm going to put the chicken that's cut up in the other bowl. This is exciting. So now here's where I'm going to wash the chicken. So I'm going to show you how the whole process takes place. Okay, here we are. I've put both bowls into the sink. I'm going to start with this one because it's easier. So I will put my hand in with the lime, and I would literally wash the chicken, paying attention not to break the skin. You see all of that solution is going in between the skin and the chicken itself. That is going to cause all of that yummy flavoring to go in. So here is where some people are more elaborate than some. I think like this is good enough. Just make sure everywhere gets it, and then you let it sit there. Now I will do the chicken that's cut up. So this one I will be a little bit more delicate because I don't want to break the flesh. But I also want to it's just cleaning the chicken. That's what we do. This one still has the skin. Now I am finished. I have to rinse the chicken. So I will take out both limes. I can put it here. I'll wash this out as well. And I would start to drain the water out. That's why I do this part in the sink. It makes it easier. Okay. I'll move this one over here. And then I'm adding fresh water. And this very last rinse, I would take a large strainer and I will pour it in. What that will do, that'll allow all the extra water to drain out and the chicken will have a nice rinse. Take a look, all clean and drained. So we'll leave that one there. I'll switch out, and now I have the whole chicken. So I've already washed this guy here, so I'm going to rinse as well. You can sure see he was holding in some water. His skin somewhat separated. The lime and the vinegar and the salt, it will start to preserve and break down and season the meat. So I will rinse him off as well. He gets all down his shirt and pants. I'll rinse him out as well. He is nice and clean. See? It's a beauty. He's a beauty there. So I'm going to place him in the other container. It's all chicken, so they can all go together. And then I'm going to do another wash. Now we're on to step 3. I want to thank you if you've been hanging out with me all this time. Now we're on to seasoning the chicken. But before we season the chicken, I just want to share with you guys, my grandmother and my mom, my aunt, everyone in my family, and I think almost every Caribbean home that cooks a lot, we've been told the reason why the lime, the salt, and the vinegar. Hopefully you have all 3, but you can use at least 1 if that's all you have in your house. What you'll do then is just increase the quantity. So let's say if you had salt, you will put a saltier water mixture only. And then if you only had vinegar, same thing. But the reason why we do it cleans off like bacteria that might be on the chicken. That's what we're told. Like if in the packaging place it dropped on the floor and they just wrapped it up, or it had when we started to hear of salmonella in the Caribbean, in many of the islands anyway, it was just they have to clean their chicken. It's a growing bacteria. So then the older people used to tell us, if you don't want those kind of things in your foods, make sure you clean it. But you take the precautions still. But that's one of the reasons. And then it just adds flavor down to the bone. So here we are. I have a whole chicken and I have the cut up chicken ready for seasoning. I have my green mixture. If you take a look at another video I did, how to make Caribbean green seasoning. On that video it showed you how to go through the process to make this. I call it our green gold because almost every single island have their own variety, and but it's definitely one of the staples of Caribbean cooking. So in this one I have like loads of garlic. I have several sweet peppers, red, yellow, orange. I have cilantro. I have celery. It's just a green goodness of so many nutrients and vitamins and herbs and spices and things like that. So here we go. I am going to start with the whole chicken. This is about 1.5 cups. No, this one is a cup because I thought the bird whole. This one is a cup, and the cut up chicken, that bowl has 1.5 cups, and I'll explain why. So I am now going to get this seasoning underneath the meat. How you make sure that all of your meats don't taste exactly the same, because you might think, well, if you put this flavor on the chicken, you put it on the fish, you put it on the shrimp, you put it in vegetables, you get the same flavor. This is just the base. This is just onions, pepper. This just adds that healthy goodness to the chicken. Lots of flavor, healthy goodness. But because I'm gonna bake this one I might turn him a little Indian style. I will add a little bit more dried ginger. That's when I'm cooking it, but I'm just showing you how you get your meat to taste differently, with using the same base. If I wanted to go Jamaican, I will put some jerk seasoning on him. I have even cut him open and fried it first, get a crust on it, and then just lather it in butter and garlic. So what you're doing, you've changed the flavor of it. So he's just about done. Yeah, I'm gonna put some cumin and coriander and masala on him. He is going to be okay. So he's all ready. I put him in here because it gives me more room to work with. So now I am going to fully mix up, and you got to use your hands for this one here. I am going to mix the chicken, make sure it gets under everything. This is so yummy. You can smell just herbs and garlic and onions. Because this chicken is normally going to be more saucy, I will put all. Remember now, if you normally cook with the onion or garlic or pepper or something, you would use like a half an onion or a whole onion in your dish. This is just blended up, so, but it gets into every spot. It's like taking a bubble bath with the best smelling, most wonderful water compared to taking a quick shower. That's what it's like for the flavor of the chicken. Now I'm gonna section these out now. I'm gonna put this aside because I'm gonna bake this one later. But this one here, I am going to bag. So I still have a base here. So remember, I have all these different chicken parts. Depending on what you're doing, if you're making just a big curry or stew chicken or something, or this was just one serving, you could take all of this and just put it in one bag. But because I am making different meals that to me work better with different cuts of meat, I'm gonna separate it. Okay, now this is the fourth stage. I'm gonna bag everything away. I already put the whole chicken away because like I said, I'm gonna bake that, so I'm gonna add some different flavors to it. But then it might look like, remember, the onions, the peppers, all of that celery, they have a lot of fluid in them. So don't be surprised if you see fluid. All you do is you just put it in the bag and you would freeze it all. So I'll use my hand. Now this chicken here, I would make a curry with. This is a curry portion. That's one dinner there. This part here, I don't fry much chicken, but I really do like, you know, chicken wings or whatever. So if this would be one of those extra protein add-ons. I normally have 1 or 2 proteins when I cook. So this is a very small portion. It's 5 of us, but each child would get one fried chicken. It's like the little treat in the plate. So I will take this out. So that this won't be considered one. So technically I got 3 full meals and an extra part of snack for it. This definitely, actually this is quite good too. This is big. I'll take some of this and I'll add it to this for fried chicken. So everyone will get a decent, this was the back, the bony area that has that texture as the wings. Yeah, this will give me 2 portions here. And this one I can do a stew chicken, or if I do the fried chicken, more than likely I will do the two bags. And then the last bag, these are chicken tenders. Oh, but on this time I'm gonna make the grill, the boneless grilled chicken. So I have 3 bags. So let's see what we did today. We had 2 chickens, we cut them up, we cleaned them, we seasoned them, and then we bagged them. If you want to know how to make this Caribbean green seasoning mix, there's a video that shows you step by step what to do and stuff like that. This now gives me 4 meals. So I have another parcel. I have 4 parcels of chicken to add to my monthly meal. So I will have fish, chicken, beef, and yeah, 4 days right here, easy. 1 day of work for 4 easy days of cooking. Thanks for watching.